Hey, how are you guys? Oh, I don't want to cover Stormy the Stormtrooper. I didn't get set up. I was rushing. I was getting prepared for this, and then William finished a movie and wanted to hop another one on, so I apologize for being a couple minutes late. Let me pull up the live stream on my phone, and we will go. Here we go. So, how the heck is everybody? Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. We had some fun. We had a great weekend as well. So just good time with family. And we just kind of hung out at home yesterday, which was nice also. So first off, I just want to welcome everybody onto this. Today we are talking about the attractive character. What's up, Janine? Thanks for hopping on. Good to see you as always. Another plug for Janine. She's awesome. If you don't know her, hire her. Reach out to her, and she will help you so much in your business. So today we're going to be talking about the attractive character and creating attractive a character for your business and things like that. And I'm going to get into that. Some of you I know kind of that vernacular and that language. Some of you are like, what the heck is an attractive character? And how do I use it for my business? Or what the heck does this have to do, being attractive, have to do with my business, right? So I'm going to walk you through all of that. And of course, as always, we are going to show you how the stories are the key to making it a success. And when you have a great attractive character, your business flourishes and thrives with money and clients and happiness and joy to serve the entire world, okay? So that's what we're going to talk about. Let's go ahead and get started. What is up? I've got William over there. Are you okay? Okay, go watch your movie. I'll get you one after I'm done with this, okay? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, sounds good. Oh, you gotta love live broadcasts. I love having William home with me during the day. He's I don't know if you could understand or hear anything that he was saying muffled through the closed door, but he is saying like, I want you to get me a snack that's peanut butter on crackers on a plate, and he was placing his to-go order with me. Gotta love it. He's such a cute kid. So we are talking today. Sorry, that was just a little behind the scenes. You gotta love working from home and having your kids climbing on you or pounding on the door or something when you're trying to get stuff done. It's just another good behind the scenes look, right? So today we are talking about attractive characters for our business and how utilizing them is necessary and creating them and all that kind of stuff and all the stories that go into creating a great attractive character, okay? So first off, the attractive character. What the heck are you talking about, Nick? Like, what the heck is an attractive character? If any of you know my friend Russell Brunson and his company ClickFunnels, he's written 2 books. He's in the process of writing a third. The first one that he wrote was called .com Secrets. The second one was called Expert Secrets, and the third one he's writing right now is called Traffic Secrets. And in his book .com Secrets, I actually have my copy sitting right here. And for those of you who don't have one, I'm just gonna throw the link to .com Secrets there in the comments. Go get a free copy of it at that link. Russell Brunson talks about and teaches about the concept of an attractive character. Now, he like his experience and how he got introduced to it was actually he met a guy who was like a pickup artist, and he talked about how if you want to attract women, you have to do this, and this, do these types of things. And he started to think about it in a business sense, and he realized that you do a lot of those same things to attract clients, customers, and to build your audience and stuff. And so he started thinking about it, and he teaches this concept of the attractive character. Now, attractive character doesn't mean that you have to be like super suave and really, really good looking Brad Pitt type of dude, or Jennifer Aniston type of lady. It's not about looks. You can look amazing, yes, and be the attractive character for your business as well, but it's not about looks. Okay, the attractive character is all about building a persona, a personality for your business that attracts people, that connects people, that brings a human element to everything that you're doing in your marketing and in your branding and your messaging. Okay, and so as you think about that and you work on those things, it becomes important to find something that resonates with your audience, right? So if you think of you and your business right now, Janine is the funnel commander, right? She is an incredible lady at helping you prioritize, cut through the noise, get the things done that need to get done, and she tells you what to do, and she holds you accountable and checks in and all that stuff. She's amazing, right? So her attractive character, I got to know some of her story. I'm going to use her as an example because she's incredible and she's just the best. I hung out with Janine about a month and a half ago in Vegas at a workshop for storytelling, and she was telling her backstory. And she is incredible. She's a lieutenant colonel, or was a lieutenant colonel in the Army. Are you like officially retired? I don't know how it works with Army service, but she's a lieutenant colonel in the Army. She's a surgeon. She's been deployed and in Iraq and all these places, and she's just incredible. Now, like looking like physically at Janine, like the first time when I learned that she was in the Army and that she was like a high-ranking official in the Army, I was totally surprised because she's so kind, and so like you wouldn't think like somebody that was like a butt kicker Army person would also be so kind and like understand people. But now I see, learning about her background, that's why she became so successful, because she cares about people and she's so heart driven with the things that she does. But she's also a fantastic task manager and prioritizing and delegating and getting things done, getting the right people in the right places for the right things. Like, she's incredible, right? So you think of her and her attractive character. That's a story that what she does. Like for entrepreneurs like me, I sat down with her on a call, on a Zoom call one day, and we talked through all sorts of stuff that I went through last year, what worked, what wasn't working, what didn't hit, what things got me the best results, and what I enjoyed. And she helped me put my focus into those kinds of things, right? So you can see her attractive character portion takes those things and what she does for people, and we learn about why she's so good at them, or where she learned these things and stuff. And it's through all of these experiences that she's had, right? So think of that with yourself. Your attractive character is, the superhero of your story, if you want to go that route, because superheroes are still like the thing right now, right? You're the Superman or the Captain America or whatever of your story. And so we learn about all the things that went into you becoming who you are and stuff. And why do you share those kinds of stories? We've gone over this a bunch of times. It's to do. There are three key things, right? They've kind of become my mantra. What is the first thing? It's one, to endear you to the audience, to build a personal connection to them, to help you establish yourself as an authority, as an expert in your field, and then to prime them and lead them on the journey to do something. Take action, right? With your attractive character, that is what you want to do with that. You want to be able to establish authority. You want to connect with them on a personal level. If you've never had challenges and you've always had millions of dollars in your life and things like that, people aren't going to relate to that so much, right? If you were super rich and grew up in a wealthy family, and then once you turned 21 years old, you were cut off, or something happened where you lost everything, and you had to claw your way back up to becoming wealthy again, people resonate with that, right? If you were always just like Richie Rich and you had a helicopter pad at your house and a butler that did anything you wanted, and you've always had that and you've never had to do anything, that's hard to relate to. The attractive character model builds up that personal touch and component of your business. So some examples of attractive characters are like Steve Jobs. He was the attractive character for Apple. He wasn't the only person. He was the main guy then. But like, he was the face of the company. We heard his backstory. We knew he was there when they were building computers in a garage, right? And he's grown and did all this stuff, and he was always an innovator and all these things. That's an attractive character. And we know what Apple became because of him as an attractive character. Did they have other attractive characters and people and other things, focuses throughout the years before Steve Jobs really became the face of it in the early 2000s? Of course. Did they have success? Yes. Right? But they grew like crazy when Steve Jobs became that attractive character. Subway. This is another example in the .com Secrets book. Jared from Subway. Now he's like, a terrible person. Well, he was a terrible person back in the day when all this happened as well. But like, he was just some dude who ate 2 subs a day, who lost a ton of weight. And Subway always, they're competing against who's going to pick a ham and cheese sub over a bacon cheeseburger, right? Most people are going to side with the bacon cheeseburger, right? But they took Jared and his experience and put that to the forefront, and then he became the attractive character, and then Subway just took off and had huge growth, right? Because everyone could resonate. Like, oh man, it took the food fast. It's fast food, and made it a health plan. People went on the Subway diet and ate two sandwiches a day or ate every meal a day at Subway because it worked for Jared and it made them billions of dollars, right? And made Jared a celebrity. Not that he was like looking for that, but that's what happened, right? And so when you think of it that way with your business, you can, that's 2 good examples. Like Steve Jobs, is the CEO of Apple, and he was the attractive character. Jared, was he a high-level executive at Subway? No. He was a result from something the company did that then they put on a pedestal. It wasn't the CEO or the owner, right? And so you can see that you can become the attractive character yourself, or if you're struggling with those kinds of things, which you shouldn't, own your greatness and be your own attractive character. You can use other people, the results and the things that they have grown in, and be able to have an attractive character for your business, right? So I want to kind of talk through what makes attractive characters interesting, and then you can see, we'll talk about how the storylines in all of these things are so important and how you need to be thinking about them and developing them and in an ongoing basis. Like, I'm looking at where I am in my attractive character journey, right? And building my attractive character. I've done a decent job of it. I have an okay following, right? It's size-wise. The people that follow me are like crazy loyal, and I love it, and it's amazing. And now it's like, I just want to be able to serve more. But I'm putting everything that I have into those who are coming towards me so that they can get the best. But you see, like, what I've been able to do with my attractive character is, I was working in film full time. I was working more than full-time hours, 60, 70 hours a week, a lot. And I was exhausted. I would come home and I'd just be a lump on the couch waiting for Monday, hoping to recover enough so that my feet didn't hurt so bad when I went back on set on Monday that I could move, right? And I wasn't making very good money. I was having fun creating and hanging out with Hollywood stars and all this kind of stuff, but I wasn't providing for my family, right? And then I made the shift to serve and help people find and tell their stories. I wanted to use the skills and everything that I had learned through learning from Oscar winners and Emmy winners and all of those things and those people and those amazing experiences. And I wanted to help businesses to connect with their audiences, to tell their stories in a powerful way that got people to come back to them over and over and over again and buy their stuff over and over and over again, right? That is part of my attractive character story, right? And you see the parts of it that resonate and that connect with you. If you've ever struggled and all that kind of stuff, like you resonate with that. It sets me apart. Like I'm not just saying that. I have worked with 3 Oscar winners on the films that I worked on. When I worked in news, I worked with Emmy-winning photographers and reporters and journalists all day, every day when I was doing that, right? And so again, it sets me apart from anybody else. You hear all these people like storytelling, storytelling, all these things, and not to discredit them. They have their approach and their attractive character. Mine is different. Mine is me, right? And it shows, again, it builds connection. It establishes authority and expertise, and it gets people, you can then bring people on the journey to buy your stuff or come into your world, right? And hey, what's up, Elena? Good to see you, Wallace. What's up, dude? Your trip to Mexico looked awesome. If you're still on this, you're a stud. So I want to go through four categories or 4 things in your attractive character story that make you personal to your audience, right? They help you connect, help them connect to you, okay? So the first one is a backstory. Every attractive character has a backstory, right? You didn't just wake up like Boss Baby as a CEO of a corporation, right? You went through all sorts of things in your life that put you on the path to do the thing that you're doing right now. Whether that's going on a weight loss journey, or you're a doctor that does wellness and all this kind of stuff like Wallace, or you're a plumber in Wyoming, or you're a funnel commander from Texas like Janine, or you're a storyteller like me. You had experiences that put you on the path to do what you're doing right now. That is your backstory, right? If you look at Superman, I love superheroes. I've never been a comic book reader, but I loved Superman when I was a kid. He was my favorite. He's always been my favorite. Superman's backstory was, he was from Krypton, which was a dying planet, and his parents sent him away to save him and all this stuff. He finds Ma and Pa Kent is adopted. They raise him as their son, all these kinds of things. And then after his dad dies and he's 18, he leaves to go and learn about his greatness. And he spends 10 years studying, and then he comes to Metropolis, it takes on the persona of Clark Kent to hide his identity, and then Superman does his thing, right? That's all backstory that helps us connect and understand how great and why Superman is so great. The journey of Superman is pretty cool. Like, he always had his greatness. He always had his powers. Ever since he was a tiny baby, he had his powers. But it wasn't until he went on a journey of self-discovery and learning and studying that he learned how to use them and what he could do with them and what the purpose of the powers were and all those kinds of things, right? So think about yourself in that light. What were the experiences in your life that allowed you to either discover or harness or understand the power and the greatness that you have that has led you to create this business, right? So a great backstory is huge in your attractive character persona and journey, right? Next, your attractive character needs to speak in parables, stories, comparisons, right? Whenever I hear parables, I think of the Bible, right? Christ taught in parables. And what does that mean? Like, not to get all religious on everybody, but Christ was known as the master teacher. He taught people very advanced ways of thinking and all that kind of stuff. And how did he do it? He told stories. He told these parables that were relatable to the people at the time and in the place. Things that they understood, things that they connected with, things that resonated with them, that touched on their passions and their prejudices and all those things to get them to, go on this journey, right? So when you think of parables, you think of your stories and your experiences, things that are relatable to your business. Not just telling a story for the fact of telling a story. Christ didn't tell a story just for the sake of it, for the heck of it. either teaching a principle of salvation or trying to get people to think a different way, or those kinds of things. You have to be intentional with your stories, like I've talked about over and over again. Begin with the end in mind, right? And you tell parables. The next part of the attractive character model is that you need to be flawed. You share your flaws and all those things with your audience. Like I talked about earlier, like if you're like Richie Rich and you were wealthy your whole life and you never had to do anything, you had people waiting on you all day, every day, and you never had to do anything, and then you decide you want to coach or do something, people aren't going to resonate and connect with you because you're so different than them. But like I said, if you had that journey of loss or coming from absolute poverty to building an empire like Oprah, or that is what connects people. The flaws and the damage and the scars and the wounds that you have got throughout life, as you share those things in your journey, it helps people realize that you are a person, that you're not some unattainable God on a mountaintop, but you are somebody that they could become, right? So you need to share your flaws. Like, again, superheroes, there's always like a weakness, right? Superman has kryptonite, or there's, Batman has the murder of his parents, right? Spider-Man is immature. There are all these flaws that we see. Tony Stark is super arrogant and headstrong and doesn't listen to anybody. You look at him at the first Iron Mans and things like that, and his progression through the story, you see his growth, right? But you have flaws, right? Anne just said, thank you. So didn't know how to do my backstory until you said that. Awesome. I'm going to put that up on the screen. That's awesome, Anne. That's so cool. This is why I love doing this, okay? So you share flaws. You don't have to get super personal. Like, I have some things going on that have been going on for the last few months that I can't wait. It's just not the right time to be able to share those parts of my story. They're coming. The time is coming when it will be amazing. But like those moments where you struggle, or you show where you stumble or mess up, or where your weaknesses are, and you show how despite all that you can overcome, it's just incredible. And I can't wait to share some of that stuff with you guys when the time's right? And then the fourth one is an attractive character knows how to be polarizing. Now, if you look in society, media, everything right now, who are some polarizing characters in society right now? Go in the comments. I want to hear who you see as a polarizing, like whether you agree with them or not. Who are some polarizing characters in society right now? First off, we have the commander-in-chief currently, Donald Trump. He is a polarizing character, right? And the way he goes about it isn't necessarily attractive to lots of people, but it is at the same time, right? Yeah, Fred Trump. He put him in there. We're gonna get like 20 Trump comments in a row, which is perfect because that's a great example, right? But there's a way to go about it. Why do you want to be polarizing as an attractive character? What drives you more crazy? Somebody who has a firm stance on an issue, or somebody who caters and wants to appease everybody? The person who takes a stance is who you resonate with more, right? It drives me crazy. Like, politicians are a great example of this, trying to appeal to every aspect and every type of voter to get things like that. So they say things that could be interpreted one way or the other by everybody in order to appease and get more, allegiance and things like that. But it doesn't work. And so, yeah, Tony Robbins is polarizing. That's true. Like, I remember a few years ago, I was at an event here in Salt Lake City that like Gary Vee spoke and Kevin O'Leary spoke, and it ended with Tony Robbins talking about some stuff. And he was talking about depression, right? And if any of you have ever heard him speak about it, he has very strong views that you can overcome depression. He doesn't say that depression's like not real or anything, but he thinks that you can overcome it without having to go and drug yourself and all these kinds of things. And when he was talking about that, I saw like 5 people stand up and leave. Like they were all sitting together, and I could tell that they were bothered. It wasn't like they were going to take a bathroom break. They were upset about it, and they stood up and they walked out and they didn't come back. Right? When you are polarizing, it does a couple of things. It gets the people who agree and follow with you to buy in even harder. When they see that you are passionate and you stick to something, that resonates with them and they will follow you. Also, if everyone loves you and thinks that you're amazing and all this kind of stuff, one, you're not going to make very much money as a business owner. But then 2, you're not trying hard enough. And to be honest, here's a little what's it called? Vulnerability moment. Like last year in my business, I grew up from nothing to an over 6-figure business in 8 months, right? And it was incredible, and I learned a ton. But I was not polarizing at all last year. I wasn't. I was not at all. I said things that motivated and tried to inspire as many people as I could because I wanted everyone to tell their story and everyone to come to me to tell their story. That's what I wanted. I wasn't polarizing at all. I was as polarizing as, white toast. Polarizing as toast, as my friend Holly Homer puts it, something like that. Controversial as toast. And now I'm looking back at the things, and like I have a lot of people that liked me and said great things about me, but they never bought with me. They never partnered. I had some people who, like, we sat down and we talked about things in detail and everything, but then they never became, a client or things like that because I didn't provide enough value, or I gave away too much, or I just did anything to try and appease to get a client, right? I told some people at the beginning of this year, I'm like, people love Nick Fitzgerald, but nobody's buying from him right now, right? And now it's all about getting you guys to understand, if you want to make money in your business, you have to tell your story. And if you're not telling your stories, you're dumb, right? But like, you need to be doing it, and you've been told by many, many, many people that you need to be doing it, but you're still not doing it. Why? Here are some things that I'm going to show you that will make it so you can not have an excuse and not be a baby about it, and you can see that it's doable and that you can do it, right? I'm working more on becoming more polarizing because the people who follow me, the people that I can serve best, are going to resonate with that, and they're going to grab onto it, and they're going to run full speed. The people who don't care and think I'm an idiot, they will go off, and they'll talk crap about me to whoever or wherever they go, and I don't care, right? You have to have that polarity in what you do. Sorry, I got off on a tangent. Ann says, I'm a divorced marriage counselor. How's that for polarizing? Well, it depends on what you're telling people. Everyone get divorced? No, just kidding. But you see that there is an opportunity there. I don't know how you approach things and things like that, but when you take hard stances on the things that you feel the most passionate and strongest about, and you don't yield, it's one thing to be hard-nosed and just be dumb, right? But when you feel it, when you have experienced it, when it has changed your life, my life changed when I started telling my story. My business went to a whole new level when I started telling my story. If you don't tell your story, you're not going to progress. You're not going to get to the next level. You're not going to grow, and you're not going to succeed. You're just going to stay where you're at, or you're going to digress, right? You see how that can be polarizing as I develop that and tell people, if you're not telling your stories and having them intentional with your business, or if you're not using your stories to sell your stuff, you're going to go out of business. You see how that could be a polarizing approach? It's the same thing that you need to think about with your business, okay? So those are the 4 things. You need a great backstory. You need to speak in parables or stories that people understand and resonate with, that they can connect with. You need to be able to share your flaws in your story. Not say that you're you know where that line may be. And then you need to be polarizing. You need to have some polarity in your message, okay? So there are 4 kind of archetypes that people can take as an attractive character. So you like, if you're sitting there thinking like, this sounds cool and I understand it, but like, what type of superhero am I, right? Am I a Superman or an Iron Man or a Captain America or the Incredible Hulk? What am I? And so there are 4, and I'll just kind of go through these 4 archetypes, or personas that the attractive character takes on, okay? So first is the leader, okay? So if you are the leader, you typically are somebody who has achieved. You have got to that mountaintop, and now you're saying, come, let me show you the way. This is how to do it. Go do this, go do that, go do this, go do that. Right? That is your leader type of attractive character. You think of like Russell Brunson as an example. He doesn't use this role all the time. There are times when it comes out. Like you think of the hashtag do what Russell says. That is the leader part of an attractive character. Garrett White is an example of a leader where he tells you what you should do. Right? He's like, I've achieved this, do this. He always talks about his Instagram stories. He talks about like, do the same thing every morning. I do this. I eat this same breakfast. I have these same vitamins. I have this same green smoothie. I walk 5 miles every morning. I go and surf in that ocean right down there every day. Right? He tells you exactly what to do. That is the leader. So if you have achieved and you have found success, the leader is a good way to go to be able to say, hey, if you want, I am there. I have been there. Come on, let's go, and I will tell you what to do every step of the way, and you will get there, right? So there's the leader. The next is the adventurer or crusader. This is the type of person who doesn't have all the answers. Somebody who is just, super curious and likes to get out and do stuff, but they don't have all the answers. So they go out on this adventure. They discover all these cool things, like Indiana Jones. They go out and he uses the knowledge that he does know to be able to get stuff and learn more and get treasure. And then he brings it back to the museum, right? So you think of you as a adventurer is you want and you're curious and you're wanting to learn things, so you go out and you implement the things that you learn, but then and then you learn other things, and then you take everything that you learned from that experience and you gain from it, and you come back and you share it with people. Okay, so that's like being like, I'm really interested in World War II planes. I love World War II airplanes. It's like this is for real. And so if I wanted to learn a lot more about them, then I'm going to go to a museum, go to some air show, go to these things and learn a lot of cool stuff, and then share it with you. Okay? That's your adventure. The next one is the reporter. And now, what's the difference between an adventurer and a reporter? Is the reporter, again, it wants to learn and understand things, but they go to experts and they interview and learn as much as they can from them, and then they take those things and the teachings from these experts and put them out to their audience. Like this video series that I've been doing. How many of you guys have been watching it? Let's get your attention back up. How many of you guys have watched at least 2 of my previous Facebook Lives over the last 2 weeks? This is the beginning of week 3. Has anybody watched more than one? Let's see hearts and thumbs up if you have. Janine, I have my phone. I can see her. She's popped them up. She's watched pretty much every single one. Now, if you look at what I'm doing in these, that is like, this series is classic reporter and leader style teaching and just full transparency, right? I'm going out and I'm grabbing information. I'm showing you examples. I'm telling you to do this. I'm showing you to do that. I'm doing all of these things, and you're seeing those at work. Fred, you're a newbie. That's okay. You can go watch all the replays. I'm happy that you're here. That's all that matters, is that you're here right now and that you're learning something, hopefully. Tanya, thank you for the hearts there. So you can see, like, what I've been doing in this series is reporter and a little bit of adventurer and leader stuff, right? I'm kind of doing a mixture of some of them, right? And that's the cool thing is, like, we'll talk about this in a minute, but like, you can take on different versions of the attractive character, the different personas for different things, right? But you usually pick one and you run with it, and that becomes your main one. Okay, so the last one is a reluctant hero, and that is a person who discovered something. They found a solution to whatever because they were wanting to do X, Y, and Z, and it changed their life, and they are like super fulfilled and everything, but they feel a moral obligation to share. They don't want the spotlight. They don't like want accolades and things like that. They've just discovered something so powerful that they want to share it with other people. And so they're kind of like, aw shucks about stuff. But then they drop like amazing gold on you by doing it. Russell Brunson, for a long time, his major personality or attractive character is the reluctant hero, right? He talks about being a wrestler and being a kid and feeling dumb when he was in school, all of that kind of stuff. And now he's learned everything that he has, and he just wants to help as many people as he can because he feels that obligation. That is like a reluctant hero. If you look at like, let's see if I can find a superhero type, a superhero that fits each type. Like the leader would be, your Captain or Iron Man type, right? Just like, I'm the man, I've learned this, go and do X, Y, and Z. The reluctant hero would be, let's see, could be something like Spider-Man, right? Where he has these things, but he just doesn't know. He's so super shy and all this kind of stuff, but he wants to help his neighborhood, right? I'll do some thinking about those. But you can see the leader, the adventurer, the reporter, or the reluctant hero. Those are the 4 types of personalities you can adopt as the attractive character for your business. Now, here is where we get into the gold of stories for your attractive character. How many of you, be honest, how many of you, as I've been talking through this and talking about all the different ways to approach it, how many of you feel overwhelmed, not knowing or freaking out, thinking about how many stories you have to tell and come up with to become, or as you share your attractive character? Is anybody overwhelmed by that? Let me know in the comments. Raise your hand. Give me a emoji hand raise comment or things like that. And the reason I ask that is because if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you're not sure what you should be doing, and you're kind of scared and feel like you are just frozen up, that is okay. It's not your fault. That's just part of being an entrepreneur and building your stuff. Janine says that was me at the workshop. Anne's excited. Elena is feeling overwhelmed as well. It's normal to feel that because if you've never really done it and you're starting to think about this is all new territory, right? Now you can learn all about in some more details in the books that I mentioned earlier and things like that. But when you're starting to think about it, I just want to give you, there are 6 types of storylines that you can think of. And you find the one that resonates with you and matches closest. And then you can start to fill in the gaps, right? Anne, thanks. I'm glad that you have confidence. That's so cool. That means a lot to me to hear that. And that's what I want to instill in you guys is I don't want you to feel overwhelmed or like you can't do it. You can do it now. And if you get stuck, that's where somebody like me can come in and help you. Or if you're so overwhelmed and things like that you need somebody to help you get started, that's where I come in. But I want you to know that you can, as we get off this live, that you can go to work right now and get stuff done and feel confident that you're sharing the right message. I'm going to look at Tanya's thing and then I will get back. Tanya says, not overwhelmed, but I feel like my attractive character story relates more to women, but I don't want to get to back myself in a corner later and only have women follow me. That is a good point. Let's talk about that for a second. I'm going to throw that comment up on the screen so that anyone that pops in knows what we're talking about. So, for me, the types of stories that you tell, like the parables and all that kind of stuff, relate to people on a different level. If you feel like you only attract men or women or people in a certain thing, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but how can you start to resonate with other types of people so you can serve more, right? It's one thing to be polarizing and have that polarity where people will buy in versus opt out, but at the same time, the people that don't know you or just getting to know you, there are ways to be able to captivate more so you have a broader audience instead of just women who like to exercise. Or I'm just using that as an example. But if you tell different stories, like I talk about working in film and TV and commercials and news and all of those things, learning from master storytellers, like that can attract some very specific people that want that. But at the same time, that kind of disqualifies a lot of people from being able, in their minds, from being able to work with me. They're like, oh man, he's worked in Hollywood and all this kind of stuff. He doesn't have time, or he's way too expensive to spend any time with me or to help me out. So they drop off, right? And while what I do is not cheap, there are ways that I can still serve people. And so I can talk about other things that I did and experiences that I had that can appeal to those people. Like, I know what it's like to not know how you're going to get your bills paid by the end of the month, right? All these different kinds of things and stories I can tell. I can talk about my basketball days and things that I learned about. You have lots of different experiences that will resonate with different guys and gals. Like, so if you're worried about like leaving men out of the picture altogether, for example, like if you really resonate with one gender versus the other, you can find experiences that you've had, but then also you look at your network and the people that you've helped and you served and that you know, and you share their stories, and then those people that resonate with that kind of story will be like, oh, see, like I talked about, the attractive character is ourselves, yes, but then we have other people that we can put out as an attractive character to bring in more people in certain areas. Like Jared for Subway became the main attractive character, right? And he brought in a bunch of stuff. He wasn't an executive at Subway, right? He was just some dude who ate subs. So that is, what, when you start to think about that, and I get the worry, Tanya, that it can be overwhelming to think or that you're leaving or missing out on serving and helping people. So finding other stories and people that you have either helped with different backgrounds or things like that, as you tell those stories, it's incredible. Like, look at Russell Brunson. I don't mean to keep like bringing him up over and over and over in this one, but like he uses that model like really, really good right now. He has been the attractive character for ClickFunnels for all of these years. And he's growing his business to the next level. Now he's having other people become attractive characters. He talks about Lady Boss all the time. All the time he talks about Lady Boss, right? He talks about Dana Derricks and Dream 100. He talks about all these different people. I've become an attractive character for him to use for the 2 Comma Club X coaching. There was this friend and he was on food stamps, and we reconnected, and long story short, he joined my program and now his life has changed, right? My story then, Russell Brunson didn't go through my specific life challenges, but he shared my story with his audience. That resonated with so many more. Like, how many of you have heard that story, like heard that either on stage at Funnel Hacking Live or in his Marketing Secrets podcast? I bet a bunch of you have. And I had I lost count how many people after the podcast went live messaged me and said, thank you for your story. I was so inspired. I went and bought my ticket to Funnel Hacking Live. And then at Funnel Hacking Live, I told my thing, like, at least 20 people came up and said, I joined 2 Comma Club X because of your story, right? He used my experience and my story to be able to reach more people. So does that make sense? Let me see. Great point. Can do the reporter thing with men to get their audience. Oh, I'm going to add that to the screen here. Thank you, Tanya. See, this is why it's so important, and why I'm so passionate about wanting to do this, is because you can see that, yes, we have to get through the noise of our own heads and fit work on our mindset. But having somebody guide you through it makes a big difference, because they can just see things from a different perspective that you can't when you're in your head all the time. Tanya, thank you for your feedback. That means the world to me. And let me know, you can send me a message or something like that to kind of go more into what challenges you're facing with your business. I know you're in the One Funnel Away challenge and stuff right now, so you're learning a lot and going through that. But I would be happy if there's something that you need specific help on, especially connecting your stories and experiences to selling your stuff. I would love to dedicate one of these episodes to talking about some of those things for you. Okay, so I wanted to address that. So really quick, I'm going to just list off. There are 6 different types of attractive character storylines. If you're kind of stuck and you're not sure what to do, write these down and see if one of these fits your experience in your life, everything that's happened in your life to where you are right now. Okay. So first is the story of loss and redemption. I mentioned that. If you were wealthy or you had achieved this or that, had all of that taken away from you, but then you had to rebuild and you found your way back to the top or to the thing that you are building and stuff. That is a story of loss and redemption, right? It's definitely one of those things that people can resonate with, because when you're all hoity-toity and then you lose everything and then you have to go claw your way back up, it shows that you understand, fit to fat to fit, right? Drew Manning was a personal trainer, super fit, and he gained a ton of weight so that he could understand the challenges, truly understand the challenges of clients who are overweight. And then he worked on losing all of it, so he showed that it was possible, and then now he has a better understanding. That story has made him tens of millions of dollars. Right? So there's the story of loss and redemption. There's the story of us versus them. That is a polarizing thing. Democrats versus Republicans. The rebellion and the empire. When there are 2 very different ways or different sides of the story, and we are the good guys and they are the bad guys. Throwing rocks all day long, right? So there's stories of us versus them. How did you overcome that? Then there's before and after. Mine is my story I talked about working in film and all that stuff is a great before and after. Before I started telling my story, I was working hard, tons of hours, making very little money and feeling unfulfilled and not being a very good husband or father to my family. After I started telling my stories, my life changed. We gained financial freedom. We were able to move out of a house. All of these things. Do you see? That's a great before and after type of story. Next one is an amazing discovery. Just talking about you were on this path to whatever. Colleen, if she's still watching, she has a potential great discovery, amazing discovery, where she had gone on this path and become unhealthy. And then she just had this discovery of if I do this, everything will start to change. And as she's done it, it started to change, right? Amazing discovery. The next one is secret telling, right? That's what RussellBrunson.com secrets, expert secrets, traffic secrets, funnel hacking secrets, storytelling secrets, all of those things. When you expose hidden truth, there's power in it. So you talk about how you found out all of this stuff, right? My dear friend CJ James passed away a couple months ago. His was an amazing discovery or secret telling, excuse me, the secret telling approach. And it was powerful. Okay. And then the last one is the third person testimonial. If you're struggling, every single one of us could find at least one story and experience in our life that fits every single one of those first 5. If you're making excuses with yourself and saying, oh, none of those apply to me, then number 6 knocks that one in the face. A third person testimonial, somebody else's experience with what you do, whether, like with the process or anything like that. So again, I'll just recap. The story of loss and redemption, stories of us versus them, story of before and after, story of the amazing discovery, stories of secret telling, and third person testimonials are the way to just different story arcs and lines that you can look at as you start to flesh out your stories for your attractive character. So this is like one little thing on testimonials. Like I did a video specifically about testimonials last week. I think it was Thursday. Go and watch that. I offered this cool thing to people who wanted it. Only a couple of you jumped on it. But that went out and everything like that. So people are putting it to work. Like testimonials, like the easiest thing that you could do. And so go and watch that one. And hit the low hanging fruit. But seriously, you can develop yourself into any one of these 6 or multiple of them. Like you don't have to be like, oh, I only have to tell stories of loss and redemption if that's your thing. And then you're like, well, I only have one story, right? Within every story, there are lots of little micro stories, right? So with that said, that is just like with an attractive character for your business, just a deeper dive into the different elements into it. But just you can see it might feel intimidating to start to do it. But honestly, wherever you're at in your business, you've been doing some of these exercises as you've been thinking about your business or creating the products or the offers that you're doing, or the services that you're providing. You've been going through this process. Now you just need to download it and flesh it out a little bit more and be intentional about it. And again, that's where if these have been helpful to you guys at all, I ask that you share them, because if it's helpful to you, it's going to be helpful to somebody else. But if you get stuck, don't hesitate to reach out for help and ask for guidance. There might be some things that we can do and just talk about. It might make more sense for us to partner and make an investment in each other and that kind of stuff, right? But you can do it now. And I promise you, when you start telling stories and developing stories that serve your business, you will sell more stuff. You will get more clients. You will make more money, because that is what I've done. I can't say that you're going to make take your business from 0 to 6 in less than a year, 6 figures in less than a year. I can't guarantee you that kind of stuff. What I can guarantee is that you will grow. You will become. You will upgrade and level up to above where you're at right now. If you don't want to grow, if you're content with whatever it is that you're doing, you don't want to serve more people, don't start sharing your stories. If you want to go to the next level, if you want to make more money, you want to impact more people, you want to serve more people, start telling your stories to sell your stuff. It's amazing. I started doing it and it started to work and happen for me, okay? Anne asks, what offer did she miss? She's been remodeling. It's in the what's it called? Testimonials video. I'll drop a link to it in response to your comment after I get off this. How's that sound? So, with that said, you guys, become and embrace the attractive character. You don't need to be afraid. You are your business. And your business is you, so you might as well put you and your experiences and your growth and your expertise to work to grow your business. Okay? The attractive character model is a great way to start to intentionally start thinking about your life experience and how to monetize it. If all these other things are showing you how to monetize your stories, but this, if you're struggling with it still, this will show you how you can start to wrap your mind around your stories and experiences are worth money and can provide value in your products and services. Okay. So with that said, was that good? Give me some feedback. Does that make sense? Is there anything glaring that I missed that you want me to go over really quick? Oh, what's up, Wes? Oh my gosh. How are you, mate? So good to see you. So drop a comment. If this made sense, say you got it, or if you have a question, do it, and I'll see if I can address it really quick. I've got to do a couple things and then head out the door and then come back and finish some stuff for my workshop. Ann says, thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for hopping on. I hope it's useful. And again, if this was at all useful for this, make sure that you share it and share your insights and be like, oh my gosh, I watched this and it was incredible, and share it to your people, because I want people to be able to learn and grow. Oh, thanks, Fred. Appreciate it. You guys, with that said, start to be intentional with your stories. Start to believe that your stories are worth money, because they are. And once you put them to work in your business, you will sell more stuff. Okay? Tanya, amazing. I've only seen a couple of your lives and learned so much already. You are so welcome. Thank you, Tanya. That means a ton to me. So I apologize for the delay. Like, I say something and then like a minute or two goes and then it pops up on my screen. But I love every single one of you. Thank you for hopping on. Like, share, all of those good things. Watch through the other things that I've done as well. But just know that you can do it. You can do it now. Like right as we get off, you can start going to work and you can start sharing and preparing. And when you do, good things will happen and your business will elevate. So go out, tell your story, sell your stuff, and remember, it just takes one story. Catch you on the next one, guys.